Day 3 of Coleman's 12 interview tips. So we've been through 1 through 8, obviously because tradition demands it, and we've talked about what to eat. We've talked about how to act non-verbally in an interview. We've talked about bringing resumes. We've talked about all these different things. So here in these last couple of tips, we're going to talk about a few things like dress and just your general behavior during an interview. So we'll jump right into it. So tip number 9, dress to impress. There it is. Dress to impress. So take the time to find out what the dress code is at the business you're interviewing at. If you can't see it for yourself, call a secretary, call the customer service desk, and just be very straightforward. Hey, I have an interview next week, and I was wondering what the dress code is at your work. That's always an option. Now, there's always safe bets for how you're interviewing, but the key is that you don't want to over or underdress. Don't wear a tuxedo to interview to be a custodian. Don't wear shorts if you're trying to be a stockbroker. Okay, that makes sense. Guys, you should generally stick to this format: button-down shirt, a tie, dress pants, and dress shoes. Always a good way to go. Nice, solid colors. Don't do anything real crazy for a job interview because you don't want the interviewer to be distracted by your style. You can have really good style and it still be distracting to the interviewer. Okay. So think about like a nice blue, grays. Try to stay away from black. And I would even caution against white unless you're going to wear a tie or a jacket or something like that. But it doesn't have to be anything super fancy. I mean, you can get all of those things at Walmart for a relatively cheap price. You can get that stuff from Goodwill. I used to buy my interview clothes from Goodwill when I was in college, so don't be too proud to go thrift shopping. Ladies, professional skirt and pants, a dress blouse, um, anything like that. A pantsuit might be a little overkill for most jobs, but of course, you're probably going to know if you need to dress up for a job. You're going to know that way ahead of time. Um, but the key is to make sure that you're dressed appropriately. Like if you're applying for a job to be a custodian, you don't want to show up in your work pants and your boots and things like that. But wearing something nice, something that's respectful, it just shows that you respect the interviewer's position and the time that they're giving you. Um, Tip number 10, don't ask them to show you the money. Um, don't ask about salary, vacation, sick days, etc. until you have received a job offer. If you do this in an interview, it just shows that you want to know how little work you can get away with. So don't ask about those things, even if they ask you, hey, what questions do you have about our work? Don't ask about salary. Don't ask about vacation or sick days. Don't ask if they take Columbus Day off. Okay. They want somebody who wants to come to work, not somebody who's just trying to see when their next day off is. Tip number 11, leave your helicopter parents at home. So your parents should never be doing any of the following: submitting your applications, checking on your applications, calling places that you've interviewed at, or showing up to interviews with you. Just don't do it. I don't care if you're interviewing at McDonald's and your dad's just trying to get some lunch while you're interviewing. Do not walk into the place together. It just shows that you have a level of like immaturity that an employer doesn't really want to see. They want to see that you are an independent thinker, that you're able to problem solve, and that you're able to handle issues on your own. Okay. Doesn't mean that you can't have your parents help, like submitting online applications. Doesn't mean that you can't have your parents help when you're practicing for interviews or even figuring out what to wear to an interview. But they shouldn't be doing the legwork for you. Just don't do it. And number 12, no weird pickup lines. So we've all watched Shark Tank, The Bachelor, reality TV, and we cringe when people try too hard, they're overly emotional or cheesy, or they're cocky to the point where you just want to like throat chop them, right? Be yourself, be confident, shoot straight, but don't try too hard. Like we said in one of the previous tips, HR managers, hiring managers, they work with people all day long. They know when you're not being authentic, and they also know when you're kind of being a jerk. So you don't want to be that person either. You want to stand out, but you don't want to do it at the cost of your integrity. So that's something that you want to keep in mind. So those are Coleman's 12 tips. And if you want to read the source material that I got this from, if you scroll all the way up to this orange title slide down here, you will see Ken Coleman's 12 interview tips. It's hyperlinked. It will take you to Ken Coleman's website, which is free. Coleman's pretty useful. Most of you guys that have been in classes here know that we've used some of his stuff to work on resumes and cover letters. So really, it's just an awesome opportunity for you guys to go and do a little bit of additional research while we're off. So take care, and I will talk to you later.